you know what you should be doing when it comes to eating better? Am I right? I mean, sure, it can get confusing with all the conflicting information out there about carbs and fat and whatnot. But basically, you already know the essentials, right? That you should be eating less fast food and more whole home cooked food, less sugar and additives and more fruits and veggies. And you know that you should be eating really to fuel and nourish your body and not as something to do when you're just stressed or tired or bored, right? You know all of this stuff. So why, when we know it, is it so darn hard to actually do it consistently? Well, that's what I'm about to explain. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the one big mindset shift that can help you finally go from just knowing what to do to actually doing it consistently so you can see and enjoy all of the benefits. Sound good? But before we dive into all of that, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I post a new video every single week with strategies for rewiring your brain's relationship with food so you can stop fighting your brain and start building healthier habits that actually feel good and really stick. Okay, so let's look at this problem we have with how to take what we know about healthy eating and actually do it consistently. This is one of the most common frustrations I hear from new clients and students who come into my programs. Why, when we know what we should be doing, does it feel so impossible to actually do it for any meaningful length of time? Well, what I've discovered is that when it comes to creating a healthier lifestyle, we're being told a lot about the new behaviors we should adopt, right? Eat more fruits and veggies, eat less sugar and processed food, drink more water, drink less coffee, sleep more, stress less, right? You know what I'm talking about. You've heard them all. You've probably tried to do them all. You've probably done well with some of them for a little while, but then eventually gone right back to your old ways. And it's so frustrating, right? In fact, I'm interested to hear what people are trying these days. Post a comment below for me and tell me maybe just one thing that you've tried in the last 6 months or so to lose weight or eat healthier. I'm really curious. And why do we do this? Why do we find ourselves constantly trying to do the right thing, but never really able to stick with it? Is it because we're unmotivated? Is it because we're unorganized? Is it because we don't have enough willpower? Is it because the people around us aren't supportive of the changes we want to make? No, I don't think it's actually any of those things. The real reason I think we struggle to stay on track with these new, healthier behaviors consistently is because of one simple fact. We're trying to run new behaviors on top of an old operating system. I like to think of it like we're trying to play a DVD in an old VHS player, right? You could have amassed a collection of the absolute best movies in the world, but as long as you keep trying to play those DVDs in an old VHS player, they're never going to work. And that's what we're doing when we're trying to adopt new, healthier habits without first updating the old operating system that's running in our brains. They don't go together, right? They don't match. So try as we might, we can't make the new habits stick. Another analogy that I like for this is to imagine you have an overflowing bathtub with the tap on full blast, water pouring over the edges and all over the floor. You can keep searching for more and more towels and hope that that will solve your problem. But the only way to truly fix the problem is to start by turning off the tap. You have to start at the root of the problem. Just like you need to first upgrade your VHS player in order to watch those DVDs, you need to first turn off the tap before mopping up the water on your bathroom floor. You have to start at the root. So that means if you want to make new eating habits work, you have to start by addressing the root cause of your old unhealthy habits around food, and that's your brain. This is the single biggest mindset shift that's going to help you finally go from just knowing what to do to actually doing it consistently. You have to stop focusing exclusively on the new habits you want to adopt and instead first turn your attention to updating that old operating system that's constantly pulling you back to old habits and patterns, regardless of the fact that you know better. Do me a favor and click the like button for me if this makes a whole lot of sense to you. Okay, so then the big question is, how do you do that, right? How do you update the old operating system in your brain around food so that it matches and welcomes the healthier behaviors you want to adopt consistently? Well, it requires us to think a little bit different than we might be used to about all of this stuff, right? When we think about healthy eating and healthy living, like I said earlier, our minds immediately go to the behaviors. what we're eating and not eating, how often and how much we're exercising, whether or not we're planning ahead, right? That kind of thing. But this mindset shift I'm suggesting, starting by focusing on the root, on updating your brain's old operating system first, this means coming at this a little bit differently. It means starting by going a little deeper and thinking about things like awareness, right? Are you eating mindlessly and moving around in autopilot most of the day? Or are you being present and intentional and deliberate in how you're eating, moving, thinking, and living? It means visualizing the future you want to create. Are you constantly feeling frustrated, angry with yourself, or even hopeless about your ability to ever change? Or are you regularly imagining the healthy, happy, peaceful life that you're creating for yourself and exactly how that will look and feel? It means feeling your feelings. Are you consciously or unconsciously using food as a way to avoid or numb uncomfortable feelings like worry and stress and loneliness or even boredom? Or are you actually allowing your feelings to be here, share their message, and move through you without turning to food? It also means working on self-love. Are you constantly judging and criticizing yourself and your choices? Or are you watching yourself with compassion and treating yourself with patience and love? These are just some of the elements really that are required to begin updating that old operating system in your brain that's currently driving all your habits and patterns with food. I know they might not feel as simple and straightforward as just eating fewer carbs or cutting back on sugar, but I promise you that shifting your mindset around this from focusing just on the healthier habits you want to have to focusing on getting your brain reprogrammed and on board first will make everything else easier. If you want to learn more about how you can update your brain's old operating system and literally train your brain to start craving the healthier choices, join me for a free webinar that I'm hosting soon, where I'll be breaking down exactly how this works, as well as 5 steps you can start taking to update that operating system so that it matches and even welcomes the healthier behaviors that you want to make part of your life. You can find the link to save yourself a spot in the description below. It's totally free, but you do need to sign up. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every week with tips and insights like this around helping you train your brain so it will actually stick with new, healthier habits and so that living healthy simply becomes your new normal. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.